Thousands of renters here in Connecticut, millions of them across the country, could face being displaced when the federal moratorium on evictions ends this month.
And communities throughout the state are now taking steps to help tenants and landlords navigate available resources out there. For more on this, we're having Melissa Marshall join us. She's an attorney, a staff attorney with the Connecticut Fair Housing Center. Melissa, thanks so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Good morning.
All right, well, first let's talk about what is going to be happening on Saturday. The federal moratorium is ending. So what does that mean for landlords and renters? I don't know if some people sitting at home might be thinking, oh, does that mean I have to move out on Saturday? What does this mean for them?
Sure. So the answer is no. And then the answer going forward is it depends on your situation. If you already went to court and went and saw a judge or saw a mediator, it's possible that the CDC federal moratorium applied to you and that the court postponed your eviction from going forward until the end of the CDC moratorium. In that case, your landlord now, after the 31st, has to go back to the court and get the court's signing of this final eviction order called the execution. Then a marshal has to actually give that order to you and give you 24 hours notice of when the day and the time of when that actual physical eviction is going to happen. Give you 24 hours to get your things together. But in the vast majority of cases, tenants aren't already there. They might have talked to their landlord, heard that their landlord wants to evict them, but they haven't actually gone through the eviction process yet. There was a state moratorium in place through the end of June, which prevented landlords from starting the majority of eviction cases, which is, reminder, your landlord has to go through the legal process and get the court's permission before it can actually have a marshal remove you from your home. So for most people, this actually doesn't have a huge impact. The bigger protection here right now, the state moratorium ended at the end of June. However, Governor Lamont issued a new executive order 12D, that was extended through September 30th, which gives additional protections on how much time tenants have to receive of notice before a court case can be started. So the short answer to your question is that there are options, there are protections in place, and the best thing that people can do is to contact a lawyer and apply for rental assistance if they're behind.
Yeah, and let's talk just a little bit more in the time we have about those resources that are still available to people. And are they being used, the ones that are out there right now? Are enough people using them?
Yeah, that's a great question. So right now, the biggest rental assistance program in our state is called Unite CT. That's the program that's administering the federal funding that came to the state to help tenants that fell behind during the pandemic. Right now, only about 10% of the funds that we receive from the federal government have gone out to help tenants. So there's a ton of assistance available, but it's moving out really slowly. If a tenant is behind, they can apply by going to a DOH, Department of Housing website for Unite CT. There's a phone number they can call to answer questions about this. I'll share that now. It's 1-844-UNITE-CT or 1-844-864-8328. There's the application that you do with your landlord is online. So you can Google Unite CT and you'll reach the Unite CT page where you can click to enroll. You can also go to ctlawhelp.org, which is a site that's managed by the legal aid organizations in our state and has information about the rental assistance program and also about your legal rights when you are facing eviction. But if you go, so that's my second recommendation, is to go to ctlawhelp.org. If you go there, there's a notification right at the top that mentions that rental assistance is available. And if you click the link, it takes you right to that Unite CT Department of Housing page I mentioned, where you can click and start your application.
Well, real quick, we have heard from some people that applying for the assistance has just been hard to navigate through. So do you have any quick tips for folks who are at home and looking at applying?
Well, the most important tip is to apply, is to get that application started, get an application number, and have that, because if you're facing eviction right now and you're going through the court process, the Governor Lamont's current executive order requires that any court cases that are pending, eviction court cases that are pending, be postponed for 30 days if there's an application that is in process. So applying, even if it's difficult, and if you have any technical challenges or if you're unable to do the application on your own, you can call 1-844-UNITE-CT, 1-844-864-8328. And they can connect you up with a community agency that can help you go through the application or even go in person and help you navigate through.
Great. And yeah, so 1-844-UNITE-CT, also ctlawhelp.org, that website that you mentioned. And Melissa Marichal, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and give this really important information. We do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Melissa,
Thank you.
thanks. Yeah, the main takeaway, just get that application, get that ball rolling.
Yes.